Happy Tuesday! Welcome to my Tuesday tips for you about hormones and healthy hormones, or recipes, or whatever that may be. I am so happy all of you are here. I'm so happy that you're either watching this live or on replay. If you are watching it live, hashtag live, or if you're watching on replay, hashtag replay. I don't know about you guys, but I live in Wisconsin, and I know there's people from all over here, but I am getting to the point where I need warm weather. I don't know if that's you, but holy man, you guys, it's the middle of May here, and I feel like we are still in like the 50-degree weather, and it's like, oh my gosh, okay, when is it gonna warm up? So if that's you, literally, we're in the same boat. We're like, come on, summer, let's go. So today I'm so excited. You guys have been hearing me talk about kind of meal planning as we started this week. So I'm actually going to be sharing my secrets to successfully meal plan. And I want to just preface this before I get into it that everyone's meal planning is going to look different. All right, because of the fact that my family looks different than yours, and your family looks different than the next person or the neighbor or whoever that may be. So just always keep in mind that when you are meal planning, you have to do it so that it's also effective for you. So I know a lot of people have different ways, and I always just say the best thing to do is find one that is actually successful for you, that you're actually following through with it. So I have 7 steps that are going to allow you to effectively meal plan with real and whole foods, okay? Because that's the goal here is we want to be consuming real and whole foods. We don't want to be consuming just processed junk food. We can easily meal plan by grabbing a, frozen pizza, but we want to meal plan with real and whole foods every single week and do it with ease, right? We want this to be easy. We want it to be flowy. We want it to be something that we don't have to think about. So, the first step that I want to share with you is the first thing you have to do is you have to make time for it, actually. All right. If you don't make time for it, right, we all have gotten in that boat before, or if we don't make time for it, we are not going to carry out our meal planning. So, this is something that just like you would schedule an appointment for yourself, you also want to schedule when you meal plan. All right. There can be flexibility and fluidity in this. All right. But it should generally be X day or X time, whatever it may be. So in the beginning, you may have to set aside like an hour to start out. But as you do it several times and have a few different meal plans that you can choose from, it soon will take less than 10 minutes to plan your whole entire week. And that's where it is right now in my own life, is it doesn't take me very long simply because I've done it for years and years. All right. So the first thing, grab a pen and paper or in a meal planning template. If you need a meal planning template, say yes in the comments. I'd be happy to send you one for free. All right. Write down maybe the days at the top, the meals, your snacks, and then I always like to leave a little extra room just to leave comments, whether or not you like the meal or the recipe, because there's a key thing is that when you like that recipe, you can reuse it again. All right. And then the best thing to do when you do your meal planning is I'll actually take out all my cookbooks, or I'll open up like my meal plans that I give to my clients or that I have just from, doing things, or I'll open up like maybe Pinterest or Google, and I just start filling in the blanks of what I actually want to do. But the first step that you have to do is you actually have to do it. All right, you actually have to set aside the time to meal plan. All right, and it needs to be done before you go to the grocery store. All right, it needs to be done before you go to the grocery store. The next thing that you have to do is you have to note routines and special occasions. All right, so what does that mean? It's really helpful to set certain meals for certain nights of the week. All right, so this is usually something that I can share with clients of mine. Is I will say every single Monday you have XYZ going on. Well, let's make that a really quick and easy meal that may be in the crock pot that you just can put in there Okay. This is something that's really, really important for my own self is with being a busy mom, a busy entrepreneur, and my husband does zero of the cooking in the house, like none. And I'm trying to put real and whole foods on the table is when can I make meals and when do I need to put like a crock pot recipe in? All right. So then it's done in advance. Okay. Another idea when it comes to this is special occasion or routines is that you could have Taco Tuesday every Tuesday. That's okay. And people may think, well, what would I do then if, all of a sudden, I'm using the same vegetables or whatever? Switch it up. Change it. Have it on a salad one week. Buy like wraps one week. Change it up for yourself so that you can still make that same meal and you don't have to think about it then because you know that every Tuesday is Taco Tuesday. All right. And then also the biggest thing is to note outings or events or dinners that you're going to be having out of the house. So some people have meals at work that like they're going to have a meal that is served by their work. Great, note that. Or, this Saturday, I know I am going to have lunch with my dear friend Danny, who's on here. So, Danny, if you're watching this, hello. But I don't have to have a meal for that. All right. So, that's one thing that you really can pay attention to is that figure out how it can be easy for you and know when those things are going to be happening. So, hi, Mercedes. Thanks for being here. Okay, so that was step number 2 was note those outings and figure out that. Step number 3 is decide what you actually want to eat. All right, so think about categories. Do you want soup? Do you want salad? Do you want it to be a crock pot? Do you want baked? Maybe now that it's hopefully going to be getting nicer here in Wisconsin, do I want to grill things? And choose different categories for different days to add variety. Oftentimes we're always thinking we need to have variety of like all these different recipes, and it creates this brain of thinking, okay, I've got to have all these different things. Well, what if we thought about variety in the aspect of the types of foods that we're having, a soup or a salad or, baked, whatever it may be, and figure that out for your week. All right, I have a client of mine right now that she says, Jackie, if you're watching, she just actually told me yesterday that her and her husband love soups for lunch every day. And they are home together, that they're eating together, so they plan a soup in their meal plan every single week. So that's something that you have to decide what you actually are wanting to eat. And step number 4 is we have to make it fun. All right, again, all the time people are trying to add all these different types of recipes. All right. And if you guys haven't heard, I have a meal plan subscription. So this is really relevant for people because what it does is I tell people you're probably not going to love everything that comes on the meal plan. That's just life, right? Everyone has different taste buds. But what I would love for you is to try 1 to 2 of these recipes each week. All right, which gives you this variety and makes it fun. And then when you like it, add it to what is this like master list. So if I actually have a folder in my where my cookbooks are and everything, and I have like just loose leaf paper, honestly guys, I just took it from a notebook and I ripped it out, and on that master list I actually have all the meals that like my husband has said, yes, these are good meals, I really like these. All right, and where I got the recipe from. So I may have got it from my own meal plan. I may have gotten it from a website, a blog, wherever it may be. And it makes it super easy because when you're busy and you don't have that hour to set aside for meal planning, you can just go to this master list, choose meals from that, and you know you're going to like it. All right. And I always say, always consider meals that include lots of seasonal foods as well, because your body is going to get those extra nutrients. So here in Wisconsin, asparagus is starting to flourish and come up, which is amazing because now we actually have it in our, and we find it in our ditch by our road. So we'll actually go pick that. And I actually put that into my meal plan. So if I'm going to make baked chicken with grilled vegetables, asparagus is put into that. All right, and that's just a basic one. Like we've got an asparagus soup we could make with it. We have to make it fun and fresh. Otherwise, we're going to get into this boredom and we're going to turn to those quick and easy meals. All right, so that was step number 4, was make it fun. So just kind of a recap here. Step number 1 was make the time to actually do it. Step number 2 was note routines and special occasions. Step number 3 was decide what you actually want to eat. Okay. Step number 4 was make it fun. And now step number 5 is be creative. All right. We can easily optimize our time by eating meals in different ways. All right. So if you make burgers one night, like we did last night, I can have them like a burger, okay, with maybe a homemade bread or a homemade bun or just over like leaf lettuce like I did last night. But otherwise, then tomorrow for lunch or today for lunch, I could have had it as a salad. All right. You could make maybe a quinoa salad one night, and then you can make extra quinoa and you could put it into a stir fry one day, or you could make it into a porridge one morning, or you could add it, on top of like a egg scramble in the morning. Be resourceful and don't make it difficult for yourself. Make it easier for yourself so that you're not having to make quinoa one night and quinoa another night. You have 2 separate meals that you've just prepped one thing for. All right. And the biggest thing when it comes to being creative is I want you to focus on 4 to 5 vegetables a week, not the whole produce section. We can get overwhelmed by thinking we need to have broccoli, we need to have cauliflower, we need to have zucchini, we need to have tomatoes, we need to have this. If you choose a few recipes each week and rotate often, you're going to make sure, first of all, that you don't waste any extra food and that you're getting that variety of nutrients. So one week, maybe you focus on broccoli and cabbage. All right, the next week you focus on zucchini and tomatoes. The next week you focus on squash and sweet potatoes, whatever it may be. And what you do is you simply pick a few of those vegetables, you Google that, and then that vegetable, so you Google that vegetable with recipe after it, and you find all these different recipes. Obviously, ones that go within your scope of what you feel is healthy or what maybe you've heard from me define as what is healthy. But when we do that, then we open up, again, those nutrients. We make it easy for ourselves, and it's not difficult to do. All right, if this is resonating with you, please let me know in the comments. I want to say, yes, I love this. This is what I need to start doing. Or, nope, this is not me, or I'm already doing this, which would be great. All right, so step number 5 was be creative. Step number 6 is we have to start to enjoy leftovers. I've met so many people come to me before and say, I don't like leftovers. And I ask them the question then, are you willing to cook 21 meals a week then? Because if you don't like leftovers, you're going to have to cook breakfast, lunch, and dinner every single day. All right. And we don't want to cook 21 meals. And that's not even on top of the snacks that we have, right? We may have another 10 plus snacks that we have for not just ourselves, but our family, our spouse, maybe our kids, whatever that may be. That's really not effective. And that's where we get overwhelmed and we turn to quick and easy foods. All right. We can plan for leftovers in our week as well, so it makes it easy. All right, one thing that I've learned since being married to my husband is I usually don't ever make the basic recipe that it calls for. So I often like my clients get meal plans every week, and they get like the serving size is typically 4. For my own family, when I cook them, I usually actually double that or triple it. So my mom the other day, she just asked me this. We buy a quarter cow at a time from my parents. And we actually last got our quarter cow in February, and my mom goes, you guys are almost done with your meat already? And I said, well, have you met my husband and how much food he can eat? Because that's a big difference, okay? But everything that we make, we usually make 2 pounds of ground beef. We usually make a whole chuck roast. We usually make 2 things of stew meat. So it's an abundance. It may seem like a lot, but then we have extras for the next day. So I'm not having to cook all these abundance of meals. It stretches a lot further. Back in the day, they used to stretch further with adding potatoes to things, all right? And I love sweet potatoes. I don't like the glycemic or the blood sugar effect that regular potatoes have. But when it comes to making our meal stretch, we just simply double or triple things. And then you don't have to make so many meals and you can have them for leftovers the next day. Okay? And so that was step number 6, was start to enjoy leftovers. And if you are a leftover lover, I want to hear it in the comments. Say, that's me, because that is so me. And I know people in my life who are not that, and I try and get them like, leftovers are great. It makes your life easy. It's really good. Yes. So I want to talk about the last step then, is plan for the unplanned. All right. So unexpected things are going to happen, especially if you're a mom like myself and have kids, or even if your kids are out of the house and grown, there's going to be unexpected things. There's going to be people who randomly say, hey, let's go and do this. Or you get left at the office a little bit later, or whatever it may be. Life happens. All right. That's just how life is. So instead of heading, say, to the local pizza place to pick up Papa Murphy's and really have those moments, we can plan in advance for them, all right, with home cooked meals. So I always say one of the things that I like to do is when I make a soup, I'll actually take a quart mason jar out and I'll actually scoop out a quart mason jar of that soup and I'll put it in my freezer, leaving, just so you guys know, leaving about a 2-inch headspace so that when it expands, it doesn't crack your glass. All right, you can do that with soups, stews, you can do that with chili. All right, and then all you have to do is unthaw it and warm it up when your days get really busy, instead of really derailing your health simply because of the switch in things. You could do the exact same thing with burgers. All right, so this was something that I actually did prior to leading up my son being born, is I didn't like to put in these like days of like, I'm going to spend 2 hours like filling my freezer of like meals that are frozen because I'm having a baby soon. It was, all right, we're making burgers. I'll double the recipe and I'll put like 6 of these in the freezer. Or I made soup and I did that. And then there was some days where I was like, okay, I'm going to do one crock pot meal. All right. I found a great, like really awesome resource for crock pot meals that you could just put in a bag, freeze it flat in your freezer, and then we can just dump that in one day when it's really busy. And you guys, I tell you this because I'm getting to the bottom here. We're almost there, but I still have a couple meals left that I prepped. I'll look at the dates on them when I date them, and that I prepped back in September. And you guys, my son is already 6 months old. So that really made a huge difference for us. So it really makes a big difference when we can just set aside a small amount, and then when those plans get derailed or these things happen in our life, we don't have to sabotage our health goals or us staying healthy. All right? We can plan for the unplanned. All right. If that resonates with you, say amen in the comments. I want to hear from you. So I'm just going to review over these again with you. All right. Is the first step is make the time to actually do it. So make the time, set aside the time before you go to the grocery store to meal plan. Second thing, note routines and special occasions that are going on. So make it easy. If you want to make that Taco Tuesday every Taco Tuesday, go ahead, do that. It's okay. I'm giving you permission. All right. The third thing that you want to do then is decide what you actually want to eat. Figure out what kind of meals or categories you want to have for the week. Fourth thing, which I think is one of the most important, is make it fun. All right. One of the things that I share with all of my clients is that we have to love being in the kitchen. So make it fun and you'll love being there. Then you need to be creative. All right. Step number 5 is be creative. Step number 6 is start to enjoy leftovers. All right. And step number 7 is plan for the unplanned. All right. If you put these 7 steps into place, I can guarantee you that your meal planning is going to be so much easier for you. It will be effective and it won't be like it's this drudgery every single week of, oh, I have to do this. I have to meal plan because it is. All right. That's not fun. That's coming from a place of and ick and low energy and low vibe. And I will tell you that spurs out and flows out into other areas of our life. And that's not what we want to do. So meal plan according to these steps And if you are interested, let me know. I do have a meal plan subscription, but another way that we can meal plan that's really fun is I have 2 cooking classes coming up this month, one of them being Sunday. Everything's on replay. I'll drop the link in the comments, and that's for my cooking classes. One of them is anti-inflammatory. It's awesome. We'll be cooking together. I'm so excited to meet all of you. And then the second one is great digestion. I will tell you the anti-inflammatory is almost filled already. So if you want to get in that one, please register now. Registration for both of them or for the anti-inflammatory does close on Thursday, and I want you to be there. So have a blessed, blessed evening. Make sure that you say hello in the comments if you are watching live or on replay. I can't wait to talk with each and every one of you. So have a happy Tuesday, everyone.